And of course, I'm talking about a topic no one cares about, the drama going down between the hosts of MasterChef UK. Now, no one cares. I think actually I'm the only person online who cares about this issue. But seeing as a few thousand of you are watching me right now and millions are going to see this video, I'm going to break down exactly what happened to the hosts of MasterChef and why Gregg Wallace deserves your support. What do I care about Gregg Wallace for? Because this is an issue that affects and attacks all men. What is that quote? Can you get it up for me? First they came for the whatever, I was not a whatever, and then the whatever. You know which one? And then when they came for me, there was no one left to come to stand up. What was it? I didn't stand up because I was not a thingy. Find that quote. Here's the problem with the modern day UK. There is a man, please look them up, who hosted MasterChef UK for many years. Now, MasterChef, believe it or not, was Andrew Tate's favorite TV show. Andrew Tate grew up watching MasterChef all the time, and I, by extension, also watched MasterChef. There were two hosts, Gregg Wallace and John Turode. Now, I don't know who Gregg Wallace upset over at the BBC, the insane asylum where they touch and molest and get away with it. I don't know who Gregg Wallace upset, but Gregg Wallace, yeah, send that to my WhatsApp. But Gregg Wallace was mass canceled, mass harassed by the media, called a sexual pervert, called a dangerous person to work with. No criminal charges were launched against this man. No civil charges were launched against this man. He had obviously pissed somebody off and they ran his name through the media. Now, I'm going to break down, before we get into this, exactly what it is allegedly that Gregg Wallace did. Gregg Wallace allegedly used to work with a girl on the MasterChef set. And a few women reported him, he's a typical old English bloke, for saying things like, oh, you right, love? You got nice tits. Yeah, you right, like, you got nice legs. Like, you know, everyone in England used to do all the time up until the world got so fucking woke around 2010. So, of course he did that. But he didn't touch anyone. He didn't do any crime. Now, allegedly, he was on a date. A date. The girl agreed to go on a date with him, with a girl who had once interned or worked at the BBC or whatever it was. And on his date, they were sitting at a restaurant, eating, I guess, MasterChef. He probably took her to a very nice restaurant, having drinks. And he said something obscene to her. He said something along the lines of, you know, I'd really like it if you sucked my dick and licked my asshole. Right. Hear me out. I'm not into that. That's not my vibe. But what Gregg Wallace did on that date was not a crime. He made an honest pop, an honest attempt at picking up this chick. Does he need to work on his game? Absolutely. And I'm not saying he doesn't. What I'm saying is if two consenting people are on a date, I've been on dates where I've said to women, you know, we should get in my car and you should suck my dick, or we should go home and you should suck my dick. And they say, yes, okay, and then they come and suck my dick. That's called making a pickup attempt. That is not called sexual harassment, dangerous to work with. Don't go on dates with men if you don't want them to try to escalate it to something sexual. So Gregg Wallace, bit of a weird request, not my cup of tea, needs to work on his game, but for all intents and purposes, did nothing wrong. Gregg Wallace did nothing wrong. He was fired and slandered in the media, called a dangerous person. He probably found his BBC boss's child collection and threatened to go to the police. He probably upset someone powerful. But all in all, he didn't do anything wrong or anything criminal. So anyway, his co-host, his boy, because like Andrew and Tristan Tate made their fame together, Gregg Wallace's right-hand man on the show MasterChef was John Turode. And John Turode is a snake and a loser. And John Turode cannot be trusted. Because what happened throughout Gregg Wallace being slandered in this way, I was following them both and watching the media very closely. John Turode said nothing. That's your boy. The way Myron Gaines sticks up for Fresh, the way I stick up for Andrew, John Turode didn't say a single fucking word in support of Gregg Wallace. Not one fucking, because he was afraid of the cancel mob. And karma came around a year and a half later and got John Turode. Did you know Andrew? Did you know Andrew? I'm used to doing podcasts with Andrew. Did you know, people watching at home, that John Turode at university was once filmed singing a karaoke song with the N-word in it? And he sang the word that was in the song. Beep boop. He got cancelled. Everyone started coming for John Turode. And I'm like, you know what? It reminds me of that famous quote. First, they came for the communists, and I did not speak out because I was not a communist. Then they came for the socialists. I did not speak out because I was not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists. I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak up for me. Yeah, it's a very famous quote. First, they came for the men who asked to get their dicks sucked on dates. John Turode did not stand up because he does not ask women to suck his dick when he goes on dates. You know, you see where I'm going here? Then they came for the men who mimed the N-word in karaoke when they were in university. There was no one left to stand up. Let this be a lesson, John Turode. When you see culture eroding and weapons being used, the law weaponized in the media to destroy the lives and reputations of men, speak up, because you are a coward, sir. You are a coward, and Gregg Wallace deserves a better friend. Gregg Wallace is the bald guy. The guy with the hair is John Turode. I am making an offer right now to the BBC and to Gregg Wallace. I will leave Andrew and this whole Tate empire I have built, and I will come and be the host of a new series of MasterChef alongside Gregg Wallace anytime you like. The offer is there on the table. Can't cook, know nothing about food, but I'll sure as hell make it entertaining. I want to be the new host of MasterChef. And this rant isn't about MasterChef. It's not about Gregg Wallace. It's about integrity. It's about having your boys back. It's about not trusting the media when they slander people for no reason. What I would like all of my friends and fans to do, I'm going to repost this video with a link to Gregg Wallace's X page, because Gregg Wallace is now making internet content. Hey, I'm Gregg Wallace. I'm making banana chocolate pudding today. Here's how you make it. And he needs to do some work. If you need a consultant on how to go viral online, Greg, holler at your boy. But I'm going to encourage everyone to follow you on Instagram, to follow you on X, and hope you take your career to heights that far surpass the infantile beginnings of MasterChef, standing alongside that snake, John Turode. Now, I know that's what you all came here for today. You wanted to hear my opinions on MasterChef. Can you turn the air conditioning back on? I'm melting here. But isn't it kind of cool that John Turode got cancelled for saying the N-word? I might file a police claim against him for racial hatred. You see, that's why I like being black. John Turode discriminated against me. He's a racist. BBC, please fire him. Snake. What do you mean you're not following that clown? Kick this guy out of my chat. You will follow Gregg Wallace. I'm kicking you out. Mute user. You've been muted from my stream, sir, for calling Gregg Wallace a clown. You have been muted indefinitely. That's what you get.